Our next guest is from one of my favorite towns. She's from Westport, Connecticut. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Good. How are you, Donna?
Good. When did you move there? How long have you been there?
So I have been in Westport since 2017.
Okay.
So quite
What
a
do you
while now.
love best about your community? Because it's a thriving, great town.
It is. I think I have 3 small children, so I really like the family atmosphere. But also we have a lot of great restaurants, which makes it fun for going out with my husband on the weekends as well.
Absolutely. I love the one that's like part like art gallery and part like vintage kind of cute little diner-ish kind of thing. It's like really artsy. It's like right in like this little square. And I was like, I love that place. It's the one that's got the little restaurant with the little bridge. Plenty of cool
Yes.
places, but you also have a place there, right?
I do.
So what is Chem Chronos?
So it is a boutique medical aesthetics practice where I primarily do things like injectables to help kind of stop the effects of time.
When did you start becoming aware of that, of aesthetics, medical aesthetics?
So it's something that I've always wanted to do, even when I was back in college. And I just started getting into the field about 2 years ago at this point.
Okay. What training did you need to go through in order to do that?
So
Because you have to have a lot of science background in order to make it work, right?
Correct. So I graduated with a bachelor's in biology and a minor in chemistry. And then I went on to my master's program, which is a physician assistant. And past that, in aesthetics, I've done extensive coursework, which is totally separate from my underlying training.
Lovely. When you decided to open up shop, right, was it hard to find a retail space? Were you like kind of trying to figure out like where you wanted to be located? Like what goes into making that big move as an entrepreneur?
It's really funny. Like I initially thought to create the practice as almost like a concierge where I travel to people's homes. So when I was starting to build the practice, that was kind of what I was thinking. And then
Okay.
I met with some attorneys and they were like, you can't do that. And so I don't know, it was kind of silly. Like the next week I was like, well, let's start looking at some spaces. And my husband and I, we went out on the town and literally looked at 2 places. And the place that we settled on was the second place that we went to. And it's right next to my nail salon and also right next to my kids' elementary school.
And
so it was just perfect.
And it makes a lot of sense because both where you're going, you know, what you're doing, the medical aesthetics, but then also having like beauty right next to you, a kind of inconvenience as a mom, right?
Very, yeah. It was a really nice setup. We have a female-owned dentist. We have a nail salon, a lash salon, a hair salon. So like all of the things that you would need for beauty. So I just kind of snuck right in.
Right in. What are some of the things that you are injecting? What injectables do you use and what grade quality? Because I was doing my research and I was like, oh, you use the good stuff. So, okay.
Yeah, so everything that I do is FDA-approved. So when we talk about neurotoxins, typically Botox or Dysport are the two that I use most regularly. And then I use for dermal fillers, I use things like Restylane, Juvederm, or even Sculpture, which is more of a biostimulatory filler.
Okay. When somebody's getting their skin ready for this type of procedure, what do you recommend? Should they be drinking water for 6 days before and after? Like, what would you recommend so that they have the best quality results?
So when people come into my practice, I try to create a comprehensive treatment plan for them. So injectables is just a part of that. We have to do, we use medical grade skincare that we do at home. We also do things like microneedling, chemical peels, just to get the skin ready and of its best quality before we do injectables. As far as at home before injectables, a lot of times we'll have people start taking arnica, which is a herbal supplement, which basically stops you from bleeding as much, honestly, so that limits bruising when you have the treatments done. So that's it, aside from avoiding things that could make you bruise more easily.
Okay, and also always be careful with the sun.
Of course,
We
always
careful with
avoid
the
it.
Thank you for joining us today. It was a pleasure to meet you. And like I said, Westport is if I wasn't living here in Huntington, definitely be over in Westport. It's just, there's something about it that just resonates when you go there. It's a great town. And congratulations to you for being a mompreneur.
Thank you very much.
You know, I remember having my own company and stuff like that with my kids were little. Now they're all, instead of, I like to say I don't have an empty nest, I like to say I'm a bird launcher. right? But it is really wonderful that you can do both, that you can have a business and be a great mom.
I hope I make them proud and they see me as a strong woman.
I am sure that you're making them proud because you are a very strong woman. It's very nice to meet you, Rachel.
You too, Donna.
Stay tuned for more. We've been living it up right here. If this is something you would want to consider, or if you're in another community and you just want to learn more about what medical aesthetics are, please reach out to Rachel. Be well.